Ohio. Ternopil. Till 1944 Ternopil. The city in the west of Ukraine, the political and administrative, economical and business, religious and cultural center of the Ternopil region and Ternopil district. Center of the Ternopil agglomeration. It is located on the Sarat River. One of the largest cities of the historical region Galicia. The city is the considerable transport hub of Ukraine. It is served by the international airport. There are various versions of origin of the name of the city. The first interpretation has scientific justification. Foundation of the cities in the Kingdom Polish and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth occurred on the basis of royal privileges. Rather often the founder gave to the city the name. Ternopil has been founded by the magnate and the famous figure of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth January Amur Tarnowski. Respectively, the name of the city comes from a surname of magnates Tarnowski and the Greek reduced termination, Paul from the policy. City. In turn, a surname of a sort bring out of the name of the city of their sort, Tarno. Also in honor of Tarnowski, the cities of Tarnobzyk founded by them and Tarnograd are called. It is worth paying attention that even the coat of arms of Ternopil is option of the noble coat of arms Leleva, who was used by Yao A. Tarnowski. On August 9, 1944, the name of the city has been specified by the special decree of Presidium of the Supreme Council of the USSR with Ternopil to Ternopil. Also the area from Ternopilskaya on Ternopil has been renamed. Other interpretation of the name more national. Allegedly the area where the city has been founded was called Ternopil. In the Ukrainian transcription there is an option of Ternopil, the thorny field, out of which bring the modern name of the city. Ternopil, the area was called for the fact that it a long time was overgrown with a slow history. One of the most ancient constructions of the city which have remained up to now, the old castle. It is also known as the Ternopil Castle. In 1540 the Polish king Sigismund I has issued the diploma to the Krakow Castellan to January Amur Tarnowski on city institution and possession of the earth around it. Construction of fortress on the bank of Sarat in Sapilch's area. Lasted 8 years. Except the old castle, the Prudny church, erections of the honest cross which has been built at the beginning of the 16th century on the base of the ancient temple which history goes back to times of Kievan Rus has remained. The building is a three-part temple without domes. The second church, Christmases certifies an inscription, began to be built on June 15, 1602 and finished on August 4, 1608 under the leadership of the famous bricklayer Leonti. In 1636 the wooden monastic church, Aspenskaya, has been erected. Over time in 1836, on this place have constructed new church which was in the Mikulinetsky part of the city. Premises of this church have been destroyed in 1962, today it was a new built by parishioners. After the first section of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Ternopil was a part of Austria from 1772 to 1810. Per results of the Chembrunski World together with the district has departed to the Russian Empire as Napoleon Bonaparte's compensation to Alexander I for participation of Russia in war of the Fifth Coalition against Austria. Following the results of the Vienna Congress, it is returned together with the district of Austria. Since 1815 was in structure of Austria, and since 1867 Austria-Hungary. In 1914, during the Litsky fight of World War I, Ternopil has been occupied by the Russian troops which were in the city before signing of the Brest World. Since 1918, after World War I and disintegration of Austria-Hungary, the city was in structure of Poland. In 1939, Ternopil has been annexed to the USSR and was a part of USSR. During the Great Patriotic War from June 22 to June 29, 1941, in the city there was a command post of the Southwest Front. On July 2, 1941, the city has been occupied by the coming German troops of Group of Yug armies. Before retreat from the city, the staff of People's Commissariat for Internal Affairs will shoot several hundreds of prisoners in local prison. With the arrival of invaders to Ternopil, the Jewish riots have begun. Only from July 3 to July 9, from 4.6 to 4.7 thousand peace Jewish inhabitants have been killed. In the second half of July, 1941, to the city several thousands of Hungarian Jews have been deported. However, in 1942 a number of Jews has been deported to the Belzec camp. On August 13 from Ternopil 2,600 Jews, on September 30 750 Jews, on October 5 500 Jews, on November 9, 1091. And 109 people have been killed at deportation this day. Have been deported. In Ternopil, the Jewish ghetto in which there were more than 3,000 Jews has been arranged. Also, in Ternopil there was the Jewish labor camp. During occupation in Ternopil, 20,000 civilians, from them 19,000. 95%. Have been killed. There were Jews. Also, several thousands of communists have been exterminated, and also those who worked in local bodies of the Soviet power. At the beginning of 1944, the Ternopil knot became the last railway point of supply of the 1st Tank Division CC, Leibstandard CC Adolf Hitler, and the 7th Tank Division, which prepared for reflection of the Soviet approach, and, in connection with approach to the city of the front line, it has been turned into large knot of the German defense. Hitler has ordered to protect it at any cost, having issued on March 8 the decree in which it has been declared that the cities designated as Festplates, the strengthened places, can be left only under its personal order. The garrison made it 12,000 people and 145 tools. Existence in Ternopil of thick-walled buildings of a synagogue, a church, the old castle and even prison has allowed defending to create powerful Ukraine of city value. During Prokhorovsk-Chernovitsky offensive operation, the city has been surrounded by the Soviet troops. Fights for the city were started on March 23, 1944, the attempt of Wehrmacht to break through an environment. From the outside, the blow was struck by powerful armored group from 507 tanks with a mechanized infantry on 100 semi-Caterpillar armored personnel carriers. Has taken place on April 11, it has terminated in failure. On April 12, storm of the city has begun, and on April 15, 1944, Ternopil has been freed. During fighting and during the German occupation, the significant damage has been caused to the city. Germans dismantled and have taken out 29 industrial enterprises, and the others have blown up. 2.5 thousand from 4.2 thousand houses in the city have been completely destroyed, and the others are damaged. Further restoration of the city has begun. Till 1944 the city carried the name Ternopil. The modern version of the name of the city has been entered by the decree of Presidium of the Supreme Council of the Hussar of August 9, 1944. In 1945-1954 the city has been restored according to a master plot plan which was developed by architects 5.1. Novikov and N.F. Panchik. In 1948 gasification of the city has begun. In 1951 the Komsomol lake of 300 hectares has been created. In 1986 in a park zone of Ternopil the complex of the Singing Field, the first in the territory of the Republic, with a platform on 1100 people and an amphitheater for the audience on 4600 places has been constructed. In Soviet period Sliven and Penza were twin cities. Now in Ternopil there is Slivenskaya Street, and the Roxolana Public Service Center was called Penza earlier. The population of the city as of January 1, 2022 was 225,004 permanent residents and people of actual population. Geography. The city is in the physiographic relation on the Ternopil Plateau, the Podolskite. Belongs to a moderate belt of a zone of the broad-leaved woods. The city is in the historical and geographical relation on Podolia's joint and East Galicia. The city was in the Middle Ages on the favorable tradeways at the expense of what quickly increased. Now it is the important transport hub of Ukraine. Relief. Mainly flat. On places where the Rudka River flowed, the valley was formed. The insignificant height was formed in the territory of closed Tarnovsky Street. In the Ternopil district an undulating ground, thanks to mountains Madabram. The relief of the area is shown also in Ternopil. Height of hills in the region of Kakovtsev -349-356 m. Climate of Ternopil moderately continental, with warm damp summer and in the soft winter. Average temperature of air fluctuates from 5 C in January up to +19 C in July. Average annual precipitation makes 520-600 m. The highest temperature in Ternopil was observed on July 18, 2007 up to +38 C. The lowest temperature observed in Ternopil, 34 C. Reservoirs. The largest reservoir and site of the city is the Ternopil Lake located on the Serat River. Earlier near Ternopil the Rudka River flew. It is almost completely dried throughout the second half of the 19th century. It flowed in particular in the area of Solomia Krushelnitskaya and Galitskaya's modern streets, and began near modern Podvolokoskoy Highway. In Ternopil railway and bus stations, the International Airport Ternopil function. The railroad has appeared in the city in 1866. The railway station, which was repeatedly reconstructed since then, is the same year built. Today Ternopil is the important railway junction of Ukraine. The most popular types of intracity. Public transport, trolleybuses, buses and the share taxi, long distance across Ukraine, buses and the railroad. The airport of Ternopil is put into operation in 1985, has the status of international. Accepts only charter flights. In the city, two theaters, the Ternopil Academic Regional Ukrainian Drama Theater of T.Sh. Shevchenko and the Ternopil Academic Regional Theater of the Actor and Idol Work. Entertainment centers: Podolyani, Marzipan, Alligator, Maxim, Liverpool, Bomba, Holiday Concert Hall. Parks: Topilch, Hydropark. Name of Taras Shevchenko, Park of National Revival, Slava, Zagreblis Park. Trade: supermarket chains: Silpo, Barvanek, Novus at. Shopping centers: Ornava, Podolyani, Skini. East Shopping Center Novus. Hypermarkets: Epicenter. Culture: Ternopil, the youth capital of Ukraine of 2020. The majority present Ternopian Greek Catholic. The second largest in the city is the Orthodox community, which is administratively separated between Orthodox Church of Ukraine and Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Moscow Patriarchate. The Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchy possesses only one temple, the Cathedral of Vera, Nadevda, Lyubova, Mother of their Sophia. A part Ternopolian Catholics. Also communities of the Christians belonging to various Protestant currents act in the city. There is a community of pagans Rodnoverov. Belongs to Association of Rodnover of Ukraine. Jews have begun to lodge in the city right after its basis, and by the 17th century in the city there lived about 300 Jewish families, the majority of which was engaged in trade. The structure of a big synagogue of Ternopil in Gothic style has begun in 1622 and has come to the end in 1628. The community has significantly suffered during Khmelnytsky's revolt, later during War of Lordly Confederation. 1770. In 1813 in the city the Jewish school has opened, and in 1819 temple for Jerigelten Gottesdienst. Temple for a regular church service have been open. In 1905 Jews made about a half of the population of the city. 14000030415. During the German occupation most of Jews of the city have been killed or banished to extermination camps. 500 Jews have been killed in 1941 by locals in the territory of the cemetery. At the same time, a part of the victims have been beheaded. In a post-war interview, one woman has given the evidence as her mother has finished the wounded Jew by means of a shovel, then the victims have been buried at the cemetery. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.